Oh.
All right, and we are live. We're gonna wait for the hexologist to send his crowd over on Twitch and D Live. And in the meantime, let me introduce myself. My name is Matty Allen, and I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Joe Exotic. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We got a special guest with us tonight. Everybody, please welcome Crypto Nate.
Yeah,
how's it going,
Nate
Nate?
J.
Nate J.
Doing fine, Joe. Doing fine, Maddie. Just getting home, enjoying life.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great to see you. I think we're gonna maybe just talk for a minute here, and then we'll play our intro, and then we'll get down to our topics. So.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. You had a chance to watch that stream last night, the RH stream?
Half of it. Yes, nice. I did watch half of it. And yes, it was enlightening as usual. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
He always throws tidbits out there. And especially, him trying not to use the R word.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm not going to use the tard word anymore. And then about 30 seconds later, no, maybe it was a couple minutes. He just dropped it.
And then he was like, "Well, I got to find more offensive words to use." I mean,
yeah,
it was hilarious, man. Definitely.
Yeah, the Annette's going to make a list for him. She said that's still offensive words, but not crossing the line. I saw that on Twitter.
Hey. If he wants to use them, go ahead, I guess. Definitely.
I've heard his argument. It's a good one. He can make anything a great argument. It's also a pretty jarring word to hear, especially where I grew up and just the way the society's been since then. So it wouldn't be the worst word that he could drop. You know what I mean? Like it'd be a good thing, but he does make a good argument that it's all right to use.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that word, I mean, it describes being slow. So, I mean, all of a sudden, you cannot use that because that identifies that type of person, which it really don't. It just divides the action.
Right.
And people are extremely sensitive now. I mean, they're on a bed of nails now, and it's actually transformed society now, to actually just follow that one line without even having anything to say about it. If you disagree about it, then you're anti this and anti that, they label you right away. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I remember in 1988, it was the last civics class in my grammar school. So that very last class, and that was like half the year. And I remember censorship, them teaching us about censorship.
Yeah.
And just think about it, since 1988, that was the last class. So who knows about the examples of censorship out here?
Yeah,
that's super relevant today, especially in our world today, right? Where everything is moving digital and online. And there's more and more power being centralized, right? That's the unfortunate side effect of the internet. The internet seemed to make it so that information could be spread in a many to many way instead of just through centralized news stations telling you what to think and believe and programming like that. But then now it's just centralizing power in Silicon Valley and in these companies that keep buying up all the competition and then the Fed steps in and starts printing money, and all of a sudden, right, the entire world is suffering from this bad money syndrome, that we could call it, right? And
exactly.
and then they see what they a super effective thing is to get everybody all charged up and arguing about things to take the heat off of what really matters, which is the fact that people are not getting money that has a policy that we know about, right? That the Fed can keep printing more and more money, and we don't really have a say. It doesn't seem, and that's a bad situation for everybody because it makes it so there's less incentive to work, there's less incentive to save, and then if you don't save for your own future, what kind of life are you gonna have?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like in the last, I think it was 2006, 2008. A lot of people didn't even notice, the Great Steal. That was the Great Steal. People's savings just went to almost -0. It was like -0 because you're getting like 0.1 savings throughout the year to put your money in. Versus, I remember in 1992, you at least got 5-6% if you join the credit union. Now, if you join the credit union now, you're getting you don't even get a toaster oven to even open up an account no more.
Yeah, so you're getting slammed with
pathetic. It really is. Yeah, it's absolutely pathetic. It really is, and they do the bait and switch very well because they made psychology. They know and understand how to, say for instance, control the narrative now. Try to, like I said, try to pick sides. Which side are you on, the anti or the pro? You with the Bears or the Lions? So people like, oh no, I'm a Bear, no, I'm a Lion, but they don't realize who owns the stadium. This it's just it's crazy out here. It is crazy out here.
Good point, Nate.
I know we're going to enjoy our talk today. Let's go ahead and play the 30-second intro video so that we'll be able to get started here.
Yeah, sure.
I'm clicking the stake. There it goes. Start stake. Boom. I'm all in. I'm in, folks. I'm in.
Maddie, we look like kids back then. That picture from the first stream.
I know, right?
A couple
months.
Like
a month and a half ago or something.
That's funny.
That was you. That was you in the beginning of the stream. Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
So we got a great show for everybody tonight. The title of the show is Lottery Psychology, and so we'll get a chance to interview Nate J and find out more about what he's doing with his massive winnings that he's gotten in HEX, and how maybe he's playing a smarter strategy than somebody who won the lottery. And I think we got some other topics as well that we'll touch on here. And so one of the things that I wanted to say, because I saw Valiant Brand mention in the comments here, he said that he's been taking his omega-3 every day, and he thinks it's doing something positive for his brain.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Omega-3s are fantastic, definitely.
I wanted to share kind of like a funny story that happened to me today regarding that, because as many of you know, Joe Hexotic and I did a show, maybe what was that, 4 or 5 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago. I think
okay.
3 maybe.
3 weeks ago we did a show. And we talked about why omega-3 is so important for your prefrontal cortex functioning, which is one of the ways that, so that's the area of the brain that controls your strong hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the motor cortex on the side here, that controls your movements, but when it comes to your financial movements, it's your prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain behind your temples and your forehead that decide whether you're going to have strong or weak hands, and whether you're going to buy the tops and sell the bottoms, or buy the bottoms and sell the tops, right? And so so taking omega-3 helps because that's the material that your brain needs in order to insulate the electrical wires in your brain. And it turns out that 25% of the weight of your brain is supposed to be this insulation, the electrical insulation that the omega-3 makes. But if you don't take omega-3, you're not going to get it normally in your diet anymore. And so anyway, Joe Hexotic and I had been trying to share this with the HEX community because omega-3 is something that's changed my life. Without repeating too much, I wanted to share that somebody reached out to me today and said that they took 15 omega-3 pills at the same time and got really sick.
Yeah.
So I felt horrible. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired from my job. I've hurt somebody. I was feeling really bad. And then they ended up saying that they were joking, and it turned out we had an awesome HEX conversation, and now I have a new friend in HEX.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
That's super good, deep thinker. So please, people, don't give me heart attacks anymore. But in this case, it turned out to have a good result.
And some big pills too, man. I'm omega-3 pills and some big pills. 15.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
369.
Yeah, 369. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, if one works really good, then 15 should be outstanding, Matty, right?
No.
Oh. Well,
no. Mayo Clinic
after a couple of days.
Don't take more than 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams at a time.
Cool. Yeah, Nate, do you take it currently?
Do I take omega-3?
Yeah.
I take I do it through diet mostly, like with flaxseed oil.
Oh, awesome.
Flax seeds, like oatmeal, hemp seeds.
Nice.
Definitely hemp seeds. Oatmeal in general, definitely. I love oatmeal every day, Cool. But mostly, with the oils, definitely, if you want real omega-3, definitely just go to the source. Flax seeds.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nice. Yeah, I think
and plus I do take a lot of supplements myself also. I really do. But there are reasons for that also, to continue the energy and the mental capacity that I need in my daily work also. And then the home life and the weekends. Because I used to work 2 full-time jobs.
Wow.
And one, because I'm an electrician, and I worked in electrical construction full-time, and I worked at the railroad full-time also. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's a tough job. My friend back home that worked on the railroad, installing the track and putting the spikes in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm an electrician, so I work on the equipment.
Oh, okay.
But the construction is really like the 3 jobs in one, really. Yeah. I mean, you got to be on your toes everywhere in the construction. Yeah, definitely, especially from ground up. Mud and dirt and dust everywhere, and cold and hot, and you just out there, Yeah. Yeah. So I did that for, 4 years. I worked 2 full-time jobs, and I used to take royal jelly. I used to make my own formulas to actually keep me sustainable. Yeah. And so I've done a lot of research into that, definitely. And especially the proper diet, which got me this far too, and especially my mental capacity with the omega-3 69s. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just starting to feel the motivation myself. I've only been on it for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden I feel like myself when I'm at my best, which is not how I've been as of recently. So it's kind of cool to think that this could be, because of the omega-3. So I've been keeping Maddie updated, and I got 1 more week to go before I'm on it for 30 days. I just started last week taking 2 a day. Sometimes I even take 3 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 at night. I might forget a breakfast one here or there, so that's why I do that. If I maybe forgot one the day before, I don't know if that's the best strategy, but it seems to be working. I feel really great. I've been getting up in the mornings, cracking on my list every day, getting things done and planning for the future. So it's good. I'm happy, Nice.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see if your mood continues to have higher highs and higher lows, right?
Oh, okay.
That's how we'll know. We'll be checking in with you and seeing if this is sustainable, or maybe if it's just noise, right? If maybe you just had some good days for some other reason, right? And I'm gonna be like, are you sure it's the omega-3? Maybe it's not the omega-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to say whether you think it really is or not. But I've seen omega-3 change a lot of people's lives, and so that's why I encourage people. It normally takes 1 to 4 weeks for people to actually notice the difference, and it's something that for me was like night and day once I realized what was happening. So,
I think it's very good that you've actually pressed the nutritional importance of mental health, and actually, giving just the basic form. Hey, omega-3 6-9s. Hey, just take it.
Yeah,
because
if people don't have the hardware in their brains and in their bodies to learn therapy skills and to learn emotional regulation and learn having strong hands, right, and learn whatever it is that you want to learn, then you're not going to be able to get the software that you need, right? And that's exactly where the therapy comes in. So.
Maddie, I've been trying the positive self-talk also from last week. I've been incorporating that. It's just like anything else. Trying to incorporate something new in a routine is, the difficult part. So I've maybe gone a day or half a day without doing it at all, and then I realize I haven't done it. But I've been conscious of my morning routine, brushing my teeth, and walking my dog, and trying to enjoy life. And instead of worrying about some things sometimes where I'd be focused on some negative things that are happening, it's sort of like praying or meditating, where I'm, internally pumping myself up, letting myself know that I deserve to enjoy this fresh air, this beautiful sunlight, and what a beautiful day it is, especially today. It's hard to not get excited when the price of HEX pumps like it does, while the sun is shining. It's quite a great 24 hours for that,
Cucumber, yep. I love it, man. Cucumber.
Straight up. Yep.
And hey, brighter skies from here on out, guys. I'm telling you, because RH, when he drew that random line, and you like, damn, that's the way it's going to look. That's the way it's going to.
$13 or $18, something like that on that chart.
Man,
it went all the way up.
It's going. It's going. The thing is, we just gotta be patient, and like I said, like with Maddie, he's preparing us. Keep taking those omega-3 6s. Research on other nutritional aspects that could help further improve your body and your mental capacity, and keep your spirit alive. Keep your mind free. Because we've been through a lot of stuff, especially myself, and I had to learn that you have to keep your mind free, not just open, but free. Because you keep it open, it's like a shoebox, just everything just get cluttered in. But if you keep it free, you're able to identify, what free is,
Yeah.
So, it just preparing us for the journey, because this is a marriage. I've been a mom for 23 years.
So when astronauts go into space, they have to do a lot of training ahead of time, don't they?
Yes, they do.
It's physical training and mental training. And so, if HEX is going to go to the moon, and now I heard Richard Hart said, the next stop then after that was it Saturn? Mercury? What's the one with the HEX?
Yeah, you're something probably Saturn. A lot of guys saying Saturn. Yeah, Saturn. You said Saturn has a hexagon.
In my defense, he said that we don't have to know our planets in one of his streams like a few months ago. He said it's stupid that the kids have to learn that and not learn things that are more relevant whenever people could be learning practical things. But, here we are talking about space. So.
I say Pluto. It's going to Pluto. So
There you go.
that's what I'm talking about. Pluto. Hey, go further. Go. Just go.
Time travel. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, like you say, invest in the future, right? You're paying yourself in the future. So yeah, it's time travel.
You know what's nice about
Yeah,
this? After the price dropped, previous to Big Payday, and then we all got paid like crazy on Big Payday, and our HEX amount went up. I used to watch the Staker app. I used to refresh it when it was first, going up to a penny and a half. I was like screenshotting every time it would go up another increment, just so I'd have that like catalog. And then it dove down pretty hard. And now what's nice is that any little move in the price movement upward is, that much more exponentially up, because now we have that Big Payday included in our bag. So before, when it would move, 10%, I'd see a decent amount up, but now I have so much more HEX because of Big Payday that it's just like the graph on Staker app is starting to make a nice little shape again.
Yeah.
It's very, very rewarding,
So there's actually probably people who have staked now that are obviously gonna, or maybe not obviously, are going to beat the people who bought after the Big Payday, because even if you don't adjust for the amount of HEX, so just having more time in HEX and having that longer interest rate for longer is probably going to make it so even people who bought at a penny and a half are going to do better than people who buy now, and the price is a third of what it was, because longer pays better. And that's kind of unintuitive, but at some point, I mean, there's just mad gains that are force multipliers on top of each other. So there's never really a bad time to buy Bitcoin at a penny.
Oh, it isn't. I wish I
did. I think there's not a bad time to buy HEX now, although this is not financial therapy, medical advice, or what did Hexo say today that I was cracking up at? It's not gas advice,
Oh yeah, with the ETH fees, yeah. Yeah. ETH fees are crazy, boy. Woo! Boy, they did get this 2.0 started immediately. I mean, God, just crazy. But hey, it is what it is. It really is. That's all I gotta say about that. It's out of our control.
Yeah.
Once my stakes generating, what's that? The passive income. Hey, I'm all good.
Yeah, I mean, higher gas has made me gift people more HEX, because I don't want to gift somebody like $10 worth of HEX if I have to pay $2 in fees.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe even more than that, right? To give them enough ETH so that they can do the transactions. And so as I very carefully onboard people who are very important to me in my personal life, and not just anybody, right? As I'm very selective in who I give away my precious HEX to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been gifting probably more than I would if I was just trying to show somebody how it works. If I have to pay a $2 fee to transfer it, then I predict that maybe makes some people do bigger stakes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just pray that they realize what they have. Especially genuine gift that you just gave them. It's not a Christmas gift. This is a Christmas future. So that's awesome.
Keeps giving. Yeah,
exactly. That's absolutely awesome. I mean, that's the problem I have, though. I mean, I'm staking for my whole family. My wife and my kids, even my kids, they don't understand. Even though they're like over 20 years old, they still don't understand. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to stack it up. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
My brother, you know, same thing. You know, it just goes straight over his head. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll set it up for you. Plus, then I had to think about it. Like, no, he doesn't understand. You know what? I'll take care of it.
Yeah,
I'll take care of it, man.
that's awesome. That's really powerful. I think we live in a world where people are more and more incentivized to not delay gratification, to seek immediate gratification, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is part of the attention economy that's being created, where there's competition more and more for them to jam ads down our throats, right? And to sell our attention to the highest bidder. And so that and when you're printing more and more money, then it makes it so it really doesn't make sense to save without having to put your money into an investment. And if everybody has to invest in stocks, no matter whether they're companies that are doing their best or not, right? We found out today that Coinbase is going to do an IPO, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, Maddie.
Yeah, so they're going to do IPO.
That just came out a few hours ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what do we know about IPOs, right? So when a founder sells their stock in their company, that's the only reason that they would do that is because they think it's a peak. They're trying to sell the top, right? And they have, you know, at Coinbase, they have people who are advising them on their billion-dollar business, telling them that this is the peak, right? For Coinbase, for centralized exchanges, right? And that makes a lot of sense. Everybody in HEX knows how to use a decentralized exchange. And so we don't necessarily need, we don't, well, I think like more than just what we need, but like, I think that space in general isn't going to be paying massive fees to be trading when you can trade decentralized without having counterparty risk, right? It's just the next level.
Neither.
And so, yeah, I haven't heard any commentary yet because this just happened. I mean, this just got announced like 3 or 4 hours ago.
Yeah, 4 hours ago. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a big. I think it was on Bloomberg. Coinbase is going to do the IPO, and I'm like, whoa, man, that's going to be big. Even though I think they're supposed to be part of Goldman Sachs. Also, Goldman Sachs has them, you know, in their bag or something. That was like a rumor I heard. So, you know, they gonna get it both ways. Goldman Sachs, boy, they got the treasury bonds now and Coinbase. So,
so maybe is Goldman the firm that's handling the IPO?
No, I don't think so. I think they're like
they just have a stake.
They're like the owners, the sub owners.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If that's okay. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Coinbase is a centralized place, right? And so the government, I'm sure, doesn't mind you putting all your Bitcoin there so that they can swoop in and steal it at any time. You know, it's a way easier than when they confiscated everybody's gold back in the day. That, you know, they had to threaten you to deliver your gold to the nearest bank in exchange for paper. And in this case, they just have to show up at Coinbase headquarters and say, hand over the private keys, and then they've just collected millions of people's Bitcoin. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why they got that guy on the inside. What's that, Brian Brooks? He was the comptroller for the Treasury Department. He was at Coinbase. Sure. I think it was like his right-hand man.
Really?
Armstrong's right-hand man.
Okay, so, Brian Armstrong. The CEO.
Yeah. Brian Brooks, he's the comptroller still, you know, and who knows, he may have winged something for Coinbase to get the IPO in, you know, through the SEC, you know, through the inner workings of, you know, his channels, I guess, being the comptroller of the country. I mean, you know,
that's interesting. Yeah. Knowing kind of like who has a piece of who and who's worked for who in the past, that kind of it helps you read between the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a prediction, and my prediction is that Coinbase will not be accepting crypto to pay for their stocks.
Good prediction, Maddie.
That
I think you're right.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be a huge prediction. A huge one. Now, are they talking about going on NASDAQ or just Wall Street? I mean,
They haven't structured.
NASDAQ? No, they haven't. Okay.
No, they haven't. They did one. I just read real quick. They did one round, the first round for $300 million, and it's valued the company at nearly $8 billion. So they haven't disclosed how they're going to structure the IPO yet, or who's exactly going to handle it. But it's exciting.
This is so good for HEX. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
How good this is for HEX? That Coinbase is going to be a tradable company, and that's going to make everybody think about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum is going to get listed, right, as a, what is it that they announced? Ethereum? It's going
futures.
to be a future. Okay, futures. That's right.
CME is huge.
I mean, this is just all it's going to create an incentive for centralized powers to start promoting crypto, right? Because they've bought into Bitcoin, right? That's why they're letting it get popular now, is because they've bought into it, right? And so Bitcoin fails, right? The test of decentralization, and how is that not awesome for HEX, right? Because people are going to move on to something that is more decentralized, or that at least has game theory behind it. I don't trust a bunch of corporations or a bunch of psychopath CEOs, but I trust the OA to do the right thing.
Yeah, same here. You see, they did the right thing.
They've skin in the game.
Yeah. I really think Bitcoin, they know that, basically it's archaic technology and they can't really use it the way that they really want to use it. Say, for instance, like Ethereum. They know that Ethereum's upgrading. That's why, like, you have these corporations. I mean, you even got Chase Bank, merging. What's that? Their Quorum, wherever it's called, trying to, merge that with Ethereum to use Ethereum. Paying Weber that you want to use Ethereum. You have all these corporations that do want to use Ethereum, but they know that Bitcoin is archaic, but it's still very, very, very valuable because it's popular. It's the granddaddy of them all. So you have something that is digital that you could just put your money in, and then just let the price appreciate. That's what they want it for. Just a financial speculative instrument. That's it. They don't want it for transacting to this bank or that bank. They don't want that. No, they just want something that's going to appreciate in price. Then they go find out about HEX eventually. Then, oh my God, they find out about HEX, man. That's
that's going
to be, man, absolutely revolutionary. Bitcoin's just a speculative instrument now. It really is. I mean, hey, just buy this and get rich. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a collectible.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin is better than fiat, and that's why corporations are moving into it, right? But it strikes me, like how's I don't want to say that. Let me see. I'm just gonna say it. How stupid do you have to be to own part of a company that like puts all their money into crypto? That means the owner could just walk away with the crypto. Like it's also like a perfect setup for all these corporate exit scams. Like I can't wait until like Michael Saylor like disappears with 1%.
Like the Quadringa guy, huh? Just die all of a sudden, choke on a chicken bone or something.
Is that how he died? Supposedly?
No. I thought it was
He was like
or
he was like
something.
in his 30s or 40s.
Yeah, he was young. Yeah, I guess he caught dengue fever or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
they exhumed his body yet. To find out if he's even there. So,
Okay.
so yeah, he's somewhere. He probably in heaven. Spending Bitcoin or something. I don't know. Hey.
Yeah, like but then Satoshi would have spent his coins too, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sprinkling.
I don't think you can take it with you.
Yeah, I think that's what they hope for, like to make it digital so they could just climb up. Yeah. Maybe the higher it goes, I could grab some while I'm up there. So.
Right? Yep. Take it with them. You're figuring it out.
Yeah, they're trying to, definitely. Yeah. So you was going to ask me about what was that? What I did with the reward, huh?
Yeah. So let's set this up properly. So as everybody knows, we've got a conference coming up in HEX, January 6th through the 9th. And Nate, we're super excited to have you as one of the featured testimonials for that. And so I was thinking maybe today we could practice putting you on the spot, and because I've seen you do so well before, and you're already doing so well tonight, so we could just kind of maybe set it up, and then have you kind of walk us through with minimal interruptions, so that you'll get a feel for speaking solo about what your testimonial is when it comes to having won the jackpot with the big heyday giveaway. For me, there have been a lot of times where I felt like I won the lottery because I just owned HEX, and for you, you actually got gifted an immense amount of HEX, and then got to decide what to do with it. And so I'd love to hear kind of your testimony, and then maybe we can ask you questions after you've gone over it once. Would that be all right?
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, hello? Is it just me? Hello?
I'm still here. We're still here. We're just going to give you the main stage.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So, do you want to go ahead and give us your testimony? Or would you prefer that we do more of like an interview thing first? Or
Well, I mean, as far as the testimony, all I gotta really say is I didn't expect it. Not one bit. No, I did not. But
so where were you? All right, let's break this down. All right. Yeah. First of all, how did you get entered, and what was it that you were entered into?
I was watching Discord Syndicate, and
what is that?
RG? Oh, that's a hell of a show. That's a hell of a show. I love Discord Syndicate. RG,
okay, so that's a HEX show where people all get together and hang out and talk HEX, right?
Hang out, talk HEX, talk whatever. Just lay it on the table. Yeah, so he was doing the name drawings, and I typed my name in real quick, and he's like types this phrase. So I just typed the phrase up, and then he said my name, and that was like a month ago before Big Payday. So basically, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
You were entered in by posting a comment of the keyword because you were listening to the show all night. It's like increased everybody's attention and participation. At the end of the show, they said, we're doing this big giveaway in a month or two, and there's a grand prize of 1 million HEX, right? And
it started off with $1 million, like $1 million, yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah, and so that's all we knew at the time, and so you got randomly selected to have an entry into a group of maybe 50 or 100 entries into the drawing, right?
Yeah, definitely, because he did them every night after that. Like every show he did it. He'd do a drawing every night. To collect.
It's a pretty good way to make people pay attention, huh?
Man, I've learned that night when my name got drawn. Not only that, when I came home, because I had to stream on my phone when I was driving also. So when I came home, turned on the TV and I've, cast the show. So, I got my drink together, sat down in front of the TV, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? A couple of days ago, literally now, a couple of days ago, I was thinking like, damn, I need some more damn HEX. I need to get more HEX. Like, man, I got to rob a bank or something, man. I'm like, I don't have no DCA, because, I just had to, buy something, for my son. So I'm like, man, I need more HEX. And I just kept thinking it. Then I just forgot about it. Mm. And I knew about the big payday show. So I was watching it. And I sat down and he was spinning the wheel. Of course, the first two winners came up. Then it was like, okay, here go for the grand prize. I was like, okay, I know I ain't gonna get this. I was just drinking and I was just looking at the corner of the TV, and then all of a sudden, a name came up, said Nate Jatt.
Nate Jatt.
I'm like, yeah, Nate Jatt. And I'm like, Jatt. I'm like, it's gotta be someone from India or somebody, man. And then I gave it 2 seconds. And I'm like, 1, 2, like, oh no, that's gotta be me, man. And then mine no typing, but I can't type for anything, in front of this keyboard or even on my phone. And I'm just stutter typing it. And I'm like, oh, it's me. It's me. It was like, it's Nate Jatt in the chat. I was like, it's me, man. It's me. You spelled my name wrong. Yeah, boy, that was something else. It really was. It really, really was. And I'm forever grateful for Ski Cat giving us the opportunity and keep giving people the opportunity also. That's the other thing too. Just keep blessing people.
And so it wasn't just 1 million HEX that had become the top prize.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it had gotten increased over time, which was always big news that they were giving away more and more to the top prize. And what did it end up being?
It ended up being, which I thought was 3 million. I thought it was just 3 million. And when they sent the HEX to me, then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, is this supposed to be more? And then RG was like, oh no, it's 3,333,000. I'm like, 333,000 more. And I'm like, oh my.
Oh wow! I didn't even know it was that high. I thought it was like 2 million or something to the top prize.
Yeah, it was 3,330,000.
They gave you 3.3 million HEX.
Yes.
Whoa!
Like, oh my God!
Wow, this story just keeps evolving for me.
Yeah, like I said, wow. I was so grateful. I was absolutely grateful because I really don't win anything, and I really don't play games or if I play the lottery, I'll put $1 in, literally. Like, hey, here go $1. If I get it, if I don't, fine. I'll just move on.
But the top prize when you're playing dollar lottery is like $500 if you hit the jackpot, right? And
no, I'll play the lotto. The other number games, I don't play that. So I know people that.
So it's some higher amount with lower odds, and but in this case, like do we know what the hex was worth at the time that it was gifted to you?
I think it was 14,000 at the time. Yeah, about $14,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If it was a penny, it would have been.
It was less than a half a penny,
$33,000,
Maddie.
right? What?
Yeah, it was way
than a half
less.
a penny.
Yeah, it was way less at the time after the drawing. Yeah.
It'd be $46,000.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because
at its all-time high, it'd be $46,000.
The Genesis inflation. Yeah. At the time, Ski Cat pledged it. It was worth.
Like 50,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, it was that much. Yeah. But of course, the price dropped at the big paydays, and when I got that, it was like $14,000. I'm like, okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. But
So,
I ended up staking. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question. Did you? Because I was getting in late into the game to try to get into that raffle, and the first couple of times I did it, I was spamming the chat. I didn't know any better. I was new to the community. Is that did we actually have to listen to that, or could we have spammed away?
No, not for the previous drawings. No, they watched that. Yeah, you couldn't go on YouTube or go on D Live and put your name in here, there. No, they didn't allow that. But except the night before Big Payday, I think, because he said there was just too much going on. We just can't keep track.
Right.
So do what you want.
You had to play by the rules.
Yeah.
Not only did you win, you wanted it the way that you were supposed to. You played the rules of the game, and you still won.
Hey, I just drew once. I just did it once.
Wow, really?
I tried to do like other nights. Put my name in, but of course,
wow,
all those other nights ain't going. But that was just one time. Yeah, just one time.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. It's been an incredible year. Definitely, it really has. Definitely an incredible year, and that was definitely part of it. Because, as usual, I mean, my prayers get answered. Just stay focused.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And now, kind of part of the story that's so valuable, I think, to the conference is that the story doesn't end there, right? It's not like you sold all of the HEX that you were gifted and you cashed out and spent it on a bunch of lottery tickets or something like that. So I'd love to hear the psychology of what you did, how you played the game of HEX, and then we can compare it kind of to maybe how people would act how people do act when they win the lottery or when they win something. Usually they squander it. So I would love to hear everything you can think of about what happened after you got the HEX delivered to you.
Soon as I received the HEX, I actually took 3 million of it, and I wanted to finish my short staking ladder, which was a 1 to 5 year. I have one doing every month, and I was already half into that. Yeah, I was already half into it, and then of course with the reducement of the Big Payday bonus, I was like, oh man, I don't have enough to finish my 1 to 5 year, because I did want to do a much longer stake. So that right there, I took over 2 million to actually finish off my 1 to 5 year staking ladder for every month. And I started a shorter staking ladder from 10 to 15 every month.
Whoa, that's a lot of staking.
Yeah, it was like 60 stakes. It was like 60 stakes. Yeah. So 10 to 15.
So this really is going to be you paying yourself over 15 years. You've spread out the winnings.
Right. That's definitely what I've done.
And that's one way you can get paid out from most lotteries. You can get the 20-year option. But it turns out that taking that option is actually worse than taking a much lower lump sum. And that's because of the time value of money. That if you get your payments from the lottery spread out over 20 years, in 10 and 20 years from now, the money is worth less. It doesn't buy as much, right? And so part of the psychology, they want you, of course, the state lotteries want you to maybe you think it's smarter to spread it out so that you don't spend it all, but actually probably the wisest thing you can do is to get it as a lump sum and then invest it and have strong enough hands that you don't blow through all your winnings once everybody finds out that you won, and they start coming out of the woodwork hitting you up for money, right? But in HEX, it's going to be a little bit different, right?
Yeah, definitely. But as far as like what you were saying about the lottery, because I just got reminded of something. My auntie, she won the lottery in Michigan.
No way.
Yeah, she did. This was about almost then, 20, 25 years ago. And she took the lump sum. Yeah, she took the lump sum. And that was possibly the biggest mistake that she ever made. Because all the money was gone.
Yeah, she spent it all.
Nate, how much money did she win?
Man, back then I think it was like $8 million, $10 million. And you know how family is, man. And when you have that, like you said, that weak mind, it just goes away. It flies away. Your money will fly away from you.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
definitely. $8-10 million.
Incredible. This is an unknown part of your testimony that creates a perfect contrast. And I'm going to make another prediction here that Nate J's story is going to become more famous than the Bitcoin pizza story. I think this is it, right? Because it's such a powerful lesson in HEX being a community that gives.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, like you said, like with the strong hands, and you learn from example. And I still remember that.
Wow.
And I'm like, if I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't want it all at once. I would take the gradual payout. I would.
Okay, yeah.
Pay me the 20 years, or I'll try to put in a trust fund and find, be an executive or something. Do something.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you get it all at once, man, you know what's going to happen.
Tempting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just human nature, especially, in our society, the more the merrier for that short period of time. Then it's all gone. Then all of a sudden, you see that bridge.
Ski Cat just donated Ninjats.
What's up, Ski Cat?
Wow.
Thank you, brother.
We're
good to see you in here.
Thank you.
You got your fan club in here, brother. Thank you for all the help.
Ski Cat. Ski Cat.
So much fun.
I tell you, that guy's something else, man. He's unbelievable. He's something else. I mean, no one in crypto does this. Nobody. And that's what makes HEX very unique. This is probably like the first grassroots, from down up community that I've ever seen in cryptocurrency. No chauvinist, no people talking mess about you and none of that, but I just love the unity. I
think this story is still developing, and it's something that's going to get more and more powerful. The story of you winning the Genesis payday giveaway, and you choosing to act differently than your relative did when she won $8 million and ended up losing it all, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm on the edge of my seat, ready to hear more about what you did with your HEX.
Oh, what we talk about as far as staking it?
Okay, yeah. So you said you staked it out, and
I did. Like I said, Yeah, say yes. So, like I said, I've done a 1 to 5 year, which was every month. That's my short staking ladder, and that's when I also created the long staking ladder from 10 to 15 every month. You know, from those winnings, that's what I've done with the rest of them. And then I kept a little liquid, you know, like 100,000. You know,
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Because I too have made very long stakes. I think the three of us actually have all sent money to ourselves many years in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to ask, how did you feel emotionally when you sent the money forward and you knew that you wouldn't be able to touch it for so long?
Well,
I felt fine because, you know, I built myself up that anti-formal ladder. That's why I put that short staking ladder in front of it, that 1 to 5 for every month, because I know me. I'm like, man, that price looks damn good. So like I said, I have an outlook like, okay, my first stake is going to end like at the end of January, or not the end of January, the end of July next year. So that's when the 1 month starts happening. After that, every month until, you know, I roll them over. But like I said, I know me. I'm like, no, you know what? That price is going to look damn good as hell, man. This is going to be something else. HEX is going to be absolutely incredible. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I just had to think about it. I was like, man, I put everything that I had in the crypto in the HEX. And I've done better than I've ever done in my whole entire life investing. I mean, it's just in stocks, you know, set the garbage coins, even just all in on Ethereum. I still made out more on HEX before the reward than I ever did. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's only going to get better. It really is, because, I mean, for 1 year, I mean, this is the first year for this. And for it to have the success that is having right now, to even go up in the top 10 with the FUD and the naysayers against it and against Richard and against us, man, you know.
HEX hasn't even gone viral yet.
Exactly.
HEX is still the best kept secret in crypto. And
exactly.
$34 million into HEX now would put it over the market cap of Bitcoin, I believe is what
yeah, that's what Richard said last night. Yeah, he did his moon math last night. No, he said something like 32,000 Ethereum or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was some like that much Ethereum, which, I mean, over time, I mean, in the period, it's the way that it's climbing now, from here to February, here to March. I mean, even like 10,000 Ethereum going up, it's still a positive move for HEX, as long as people that get in the HEX just understand, just stake it, man. Just stake it for a day, stake it, and just stake it for years. Just stake it and just get your interest out. That's all you gotta do, and it's going to take care of you, and it's going to take care of everybody else. That's just the way it goes. But you want to trade? They're like, man, why trade? And all you gotta do is stake it.
That's right, man.
I mean, come on, man.
Free up your time.
It's just crazy.
Do more productive things. Get creative, have some fun, relax.
Yeah.
Not stare at a screen for 16 hours a day, you know.
Well, some people love that. You know, some people absolutely. Yeah.
The adrenaline, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could get adrenaline running. I mean, put your headphones on and just jog to Walmart or somewhere, man, you know. But people...
Ski Cat hit us again with another ninjet.
Ski Cat.
Oh, man.
We're going to have to figure out a dance here, Maddie.
In the jets out there, you know?
You're going to be flying soon, you all.
Thank you for that compliment, Ski Cat. That means a lot. Thank you. We appreciate that. Ski Cat says, keep up the good work.
Thank you, Ski Cat. Thank you, man. Tell you, that man's incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah. Now, Joe, how did you feel when you sent the money to yourself in the future and knew you wouldn't be able to touch it for however long you promised?
It was tough. Oh, sorry, Nate.
No. You
Matty, me? You asking me, Matty?
Yeah. Let's go around the room.
I felt great because I had a hole in my ladder from years 11 to 14. So just like Nate, I was excited to fill that in. But to put that money away was difficult. You know, it was something that I would have loved to go out and buy something, or, you know, take care of myself on a level like I was used to a while back, because I'm in a different financial place now. But I just thought about, you know, what that money is going to be worth, what that HEX is going to be worth in 11 to 14 years. And you know, to get paid 40% on it right now, I didn't know what it was going to be then, because it was right as Big Payday had ended. And so I was thinking I might even be like 60%. So I didn't have any trouble doing it, but it was, you know, it's not what I'm used to doing. I'm not used to storing money away. I'm not used to paying myself in the future. That's all brand new for me in the last, 4 months is how long I've learned that. Mm-hmm. So it was incredible though. Thank you so much, Ski Cat. I really appreciate it. It was a beautiful thing to do for another human being, and I look forward to paying it back to the other Hexicans in the future. That's why Matty and I are on this road in the first place, is to give our time. And, I love doing things that I really believe in, and with no expectation of anything in return. So if I learn something great through, my Bible study, through God, through my fellowship in the 12-step program, and also here in the Hexican community, it's a pleasure to donate my time back, to give back to the community. So thank you for setting an example of, what a blessing is like to receive, so that I know that I want to pay that forward and, someday make somebody else feel just like you made me feel, Ski Cat. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Wow. That's super powerful too. Man, you guys are the best.
That was deep. Definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, when you stake that long, I mean, even 10 years, you're like, oh man, I'm putting this off for 10 years and then building it back up to 15. It's like, why not?
Are you kidding me? I felt horrible.
You really?
I was sweating. I had to build myself up over days, because I'm sitting here like what? I'm sending like $5,000 to myself in the future. Like, that's terrible. Now I have to wait that long, right? And so I really had to psych myself into it, and I felt bad. Like, I had a physical reaction. But I started by going out as far. I started with 15 and worked my way back. Well, I don't even know if that's true. I think I started at 12, and then I worked my way back. I did a couple, and then I went all the way to 15. And I worked my way back, and so I built my ladder backwards, because I knew that the longer stakes, I wanted to get those over with, because I didn't want to second guess myself. I knew that if I kept earning money, or if I kept converting crypto into HEX, that I would be more motivated to complete my ladder. But the earlier on I did the longer stakes, the better. Ski Cat again! Wow! Hey.
That's awesome, Ski Cat.
You're just showering you. He just showering you. That's good.
He says, "You're welcome. Glad to help in any way I can." And the positivity that Ski Cat creates in our community, the buzz, it's something special. I could speak as a recipient of what it feels like to receive HEX as a donation. It's incredible. It's something I'll never forget. It's something I tell my friends and family about. And then what that does for the community as well is, it makes people feel good. We get to share that. When Crypty Girl was gifted that HEX from Ski Cat, it made me feel good that night. I was proud to be in this community. I wanted to share it on Twitter. I wanted, everybody else did too. I mean, that news of Crypty Girl must have been retweeted within the first 10 minutes, easily 50 times by everybody that I know,
yes.
In our community. We were we were just as excited for her as if we received that HEX ourselves. So it's an amazing thing what a gift to another human being does. You know, time, energy, money, and when it's sincere and when there's no expectation of anything in return. I mean, that's what life is all about. So, Ski Cat, you set a wonderful example for me and for our community, and thank you I appreciate your response. Thank you, Ski Cat.
Now, Crypty Girl is also going to be doing a testimonial at the HEX conference. She's even, you know, been really promoting it and been so excited. I mean, everybody's excited for the HEX conference, and so we're really excited to have both of you will be on there for testimonials, and so it's going to be a really awesome time. Something just occurred to me as we've been live, and as Ski Cat we know Ski Cat's watching. I just had an aha moment that anybody who's received HEX from Ski Cat, then if you end up taking some small portion of that, let's say, if one of you guys pass forward 1 HEX to somebody or 10 HEX or something, that those are Ski Cat Genesis shares, and those can be tracked on the blockchain. So if you guys do pass it forward, it's something that the future recipient could know that they are in this, like, a long line of people paying things forward. I don't know if anybody's thought of that yet, but it's like, Joe, when you said that you'd love to pay it forward, you know, in some way, that just occurred to me that the legend of Ski Cat gifting to you guys could live on many years into the future, even more than your stakes.
Maddie, I could do that, but I tumbled all my coins in the tornado as soon as I got
them. You pour them in the
eat. There's nobody finding out where my coins are.
No, there they go.
You try a HEX mixer?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure he knows where my coins are, because they're damn sure in the contract. So definitely. Well, yeah, that was an incredible moment at that time to actually, like I say, win something. I'm like, it was just mind-boggling, you know, and to have the opportunity to actually use HEX for what it's for the long term also, because like I said, I just had a short staking ladder, you know, and I wanted to do the 10 to 15 year, but I didn't have enough. You know, I would have to wait for my stakes to end to actually, you know, do a longer stake. But then that happened, and I'm like, oh God, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I know how you feel, Nate, because there's like a little bit of anxiety that I wasn't able to have that 10 to 15 year window. It was weird. It was like
it was.
It made me feel bad. Like and especially after I talked to Matty, because Matty did his ladder backwards. He stacked it more towards the end, and he was smart from the beginning. I did 4,444 days, 3,333 days. You know, that's what my first few stakes were. But I didn't push out my heavy principal out long term. And after speaking with Matty, seeing Brennan's staking ladder online, I started to feel like, wow, I made a mistake. If I could do this all over again, I'd go heavy years 10 to 15. So, you know, what a relief, of course. I mean, a donation of that size, is just incredible. So I know how you feel. It's a beautiful feeling to be able to know that 10 to 15 years from now, you did the right thing with your money.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I didn't understand the shares when I first started my staking lab. I really didn't.
Yeah, me neither.
You know? And not only that, I think because I was like, okay, I was set to do this principle. I was like, okay, I'm doing this, and that's it. And I was already set to do it, you know, in the what was that, the 3 years that I already had it in there. Then I realized, like, hey, the shares, dude, that is, you know, when I started hearing about the shares and how it works, and I'm like, Oh no, no.
Right.
Oh.
It's totally different because the Bitcoin pizza guy didn't know that, or I assume he didn't know that you know that the Bitcoin was going to be worth 200 million, or what? I mean, what would it be now? $300 million. I was reading a story today on the New York Times that said that they have a reporter now who paid for nothing less than a sushi dinner for 60 people with Bitcoin 10 years ago, or
Oh
8
man.
or 7 or whatever it was. And the Bitcoin now, would be worth, I don't know, millions or something. And so she went back and tracked down the owner of the restaurant, and they still had the Bitcoin.
Oh really? They said
Did they realize what they were sitting on?
Well, they sold 25% when Bitcoin hit like a couple thousand, and then they sold another 25% after that, but they still have 50% of the total 40 Bitcoins that they collected, working next door to a place that was doing the Wayback Machine. I guess is one of the ways that Bitcoin got popular, because they took donations in Bitcoin. And this sushi place was next door to where that was headquartered, and so it's just fascinating that there are these stories that make headlines, right? And it's like demonstrating how maybe somebody could get rich off Bitcoin, now by buying it, which is much less true maybe, and but in HEX it's kind of the reverse. It's like everybody knows how valuable HEX is worth, and so they stake it into the future.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, like I say, just a short period of time I've been in crypto, I have not ever put all my portfolio in one basket till now. Because like everything else is garbage to me now. I mean, there's only a couple of coins I'll probably give consideration. Of course, ETH. I like ETH. Sale's okay.
You have exposure to ETH by just holding HEX, of course, because it's the dominant trading pair. Is kind of that's been my opinion of ETH. I try not to have any ETH unless I'm like dollar cost averaging into HEX or something.
Yeah, that's basically it now, because you need ETH for everything. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna move it. To stake and to buy, really.
So my attitude is like, if I'm gonna need ETH in the future, then like that just means I'll have to like work my job and like I'll take care of it. Like why would I hold ETH for so many years? Just to pay fees when the ETH could be worth so much more if I just put it into HEX in my non-advisory position, not financial advice.
And especially the staking with ETH, it's still up in the air. Like, okay, what's going on with it? I mean, do they actually hold your ETH? And how much percentage you get? Who?
That's a mess. That's like, I mean, it's interesting from an intellectual point of view, but like, I don't want to.
Take a chance.
Have a bunch of ETH and stake it.
And that's one of the main reasons
why interest.
Like, and last year, like about November. That's the reason why I really got back into crypto. I was like, oh, ETH is going to do staking. Like, oh man, so. I just started buying ETH, but I didn't know anything about HEX at the time, at that time. So. But
staking provides security for an amount of interest that's like what it's going to keep up with real inflation or something.
Yeah,
exactly. Is a time deposit that creates value by money has value as a store of value because it lowers the economic velocity of money, right? Like when money speeds up, then it becomes less valuable because it's not being stored over time. And so HEX, like that's really the economic miracle, is that people, when they are incentivized to be rewarded for saving and for staking longer and everything, it's then that actually creates value by decreasing the velocity of this money and making the money more scarce, which will continue to increase the value as long as we all keep buying HEX and or adopting people into it, and or just as we earn our interest in HEX, it'll continue
keeps us responsible.
It'll continue to be an outperforming asset as it's designed, right? And so that's I mean, it's an incredible opportunity that we've already gotten to see being up like 100x from the bottom here in USD, and up 40x from a year ago today.
It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, you're right. And one thing I like about HEX really is a psychological effect of the emergency stakes. I mean, just to have that, because it works both ways. It protects us as the stakers from clowns that just sell, just want to pull their stakes out, because, you got projects out there like Tezos. You can withdraw anytime. You can sell your bag anytime, if you stake.
Yeah. And
that's one thing I like about HEX, is because we get rewarded for that screw ups. Like today, these people, when Bitcoin goes up, man, they're like, oh my God, I got to get out of here, man. I got to get some Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden they blow up their account. I'm like, man.
Yeah, running for the exits. And then they realize, oops.
Yeah, y'all didn't pay attention to the rules. You just stake in, you just go leave, right? Okay, yeah. You can go, but you're not getting what you're expecting. But I love the psychology of what HEX has done. It really keeps us more responsible, because we're committed, and we know the outcome of that commitment. You just stay, put, just fulfill your obligation, basically.
Right. Yeah, that new end stake, emergency end stake, detail to the graphic that they added to make it look like you really better pay attention to this. Is this something you really want to do? It's bittersweet. I feel bad. I'll be honest. I feel bad when I see somebody that just nuked their whole entire account. My first thought is like my stomach drops for them. But then immediately, but then immediately my second thought is a big smile on my face, and I know that today is going to be a good day for, the payout per T-share. So it's I'm kind of, at first I was happy that they put that there, and now I'm critical about it and thinking that that's going to save too many people. That's going to stop a lot of people. But I think it's the right thing to do. I think that was a nice thing to add.
Think about how many people don't understand the system and are staked long, and then they're going to be immensely rewarded, right? So that's a good thing. And I think people, if you make a promise and then you break that promise to HEX and to yourself, then I care about people's emotions and well-being, and I think that it's important for us to take care of people who emergency end stake, and that's, can you imagine the feeling? But of doing it by accident or something. But again, it's like you made a promise. So
exactly.
Yeah, people sometimes don't understand it. Like Nate was saying, there's other tokens that you can stake, and there's no emergency penalty for it. And you're not going to know that if you're a fly-by, night trader and you just stumbled upon HEX because you're looking at nomics. You see it shoot up the number 5, number 6 spot. Then the price drops. you want to get in, you want to make that money, and like you just don't do any research. And I understand it's up to all of us as individuals to make sure we know what we're getting into. But the average trader out there, which is not what the product of HEX is for, that person has a family. They have a income that's they're trying to work the best that they can. So you're the first mover in the space of staking. Long-term time locked is HEX, but they weren't the first coin to be able to stake it, right? So there is the culture in cryptocurrency of being able to stake your coins and unstake it. And thankfully the website has added that to it, because I think it's important that, I just can't say it enough. Like it crushes me inside every time when I see that number. I'm like, wow, imagine if that's what if I got into this not knowing about it like I do. Something about HEX grabbed me. The product intrigued me, and Richard Hart, I love him. So I dove in head first, and I spent all my time learning as much as I can and talking with the Hexican community. And I love it as a pastime. It's my favorite thing to talk about, to work with other people on. We are the exception to the rules, that us true Hexicans, people with staking ladders. And I just would hate for HEX to get a bad name from somebody that knows a lot of other people with big money that like to invest, because they got into this product and they went to end stake, and that big message wasn't there. So now that message is there, it's kind of like just maybe warning these people extra more. Like, you better really know what you're doing now, because you could really nuke yourself. So
I'm going to make a prediction. The HEX is going to keep doing awesome, and it's going to gain more and more traction in crypto. And then whoever are bad actors, right? Whoever stands to lose the most from HEX being an honest product that is better for the world and stops scams from being as successful, because HEX is not a scam, although it's used marketing that appeals to such people who would fall for a scam, and it teaches them how to be better to themselves, right? And how to keep your promises, right? I predict that sooner or later, bad actors are going to come along, and what does it matter to them if they put $1 million into HEX and intentionally end stake to try to make a negative news story and to try to say HEX is bad for people and this could happen to you, and this person didn't understand what they were doing, right? And generate a bunch of negative press. I can't wait till that happens, right? Because
I think it could have happened already, Matty. Hopefully that button, if that news story comes out now, then what's anybody going to say? That emergency sign is gigantic. The details are there. Like, that wards off that, I think.
But think about how to hurt HEX.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a way to do it, no doubt about it. Absolutely.
But that's just gonna bring more people into it. It's awesome. And my message to anybody out there who is a real person who accidentally or unintentionally emergency end stakes, you will have an amazing story to tell of how you pick yourself up from that, and how you are able to take care of yourself and maybe grow with the community as somebody who is going to pay more attention to the rules, or is going to make it a turning point in their life where now you're famous for something and you can do better next time. And I mean, it could be a great recovery story, right?
That's right. Yeah, the future show.
And they named themselves Hiroshima at the time.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, I tell you, they just don't pay attention. I mean, man, if you're going to invest in something, at least know some basics. You may not know everything, but know some basics, because this is a totally different game. And one of the things that I've learned about HEX was like, oh man, you better not end stake, or else you're going to lose your stuff. Just plain and simple. I'm like, right. Okay, if I put this date to this date, I gotta fulfill it. There you go.
You click on the date. You have to fulfill it, just like you said.
Yeah,
you pick the date.
You pick the date. Yeah, you pick the date. It could be one day, the 5 years from now. You pick the date. It's your. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
Well, I tell you. But the thing is, a lot of people, like you say, they're just so anxious and they don't pay attention. This crypto space is something else, man. People are just it is. I don't have no sympathy for stupidity. I really don't. And I think, if you're just going in stake and that it's not going to be either 50% or you're not going to fully obligate, you're going to do it anyway, then so be it. Shame on you. Really. I mean, it's that shame on you. That's the way I see it. Because, I mean, how can you get into something and you don't know anything about it?
I can speak just in my experiences. Like, it's a point of ignorance. You learn from it, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought this up with Maddie before. I was trading coins while I was first getting into HEX because my ETH would sit on Coinbase for 7 days. So during those 7 days, I was like, I'm going to trade it. I'm going to make some money on the way up. And I got into different coins and I was doing really good, relatively to the small investment that I had. And then I invested one day in Wifey. WIF or YFI, right? And that was the first time I didn't do research. Before that, I was all about extensive research and what the coin did, what its functionality is, the utility of it. And I would get behind these ones. I would love them and I would learn a lot. And then there was like this coin in the background making so much money, cost over what Bitcoin cost. It was $30,000-$40,000 at one point. So I bought into it thinking, well, I see these patterns because I was just getting out of the bad habit of trading. So I see these patterns. I'm going to buy, Wifey. I got into it and, I put about a grand into it, about $1,000. And as it started, it must have been like the next day that it got hacked. And I didn't look even that day as it started to drop. I just thought, it'll come back. It dropped 10, 15%. I was like, tomorrow it'll come back. And I didn't do even research then. So, stupid me, ignorant me. It was like 6 days before I actually Google searched, what's going on with Wifey. And I realized that Harvest had a hack and this was probably not going to recover. And if, it has since recovered. But I took the money that I had out at a big loss. And, I learned that lesson that you don't get into something with your money unless you know a great deal about it. It was painful, though, no doubt. And I was able to get a little bit back. Thank God it didn't go down to zero. But I lost more than half my money, in 6 days.
$500 is nothing, man.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Imagine, what that $500 in the future is going to be worth in HEX.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That's really what I lost. It was on its way to HEX.
Yeah. If you start living your life priced in future HEX, it's amazing how much money you save.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm gonna, return these shoes that I bought to Amazon. Like, I've got old shoes, that'll free up some money for my bills, and then I'll have more money to put into HEX. Yeah.
You're making me think about cigarettes, Maddie. I told you I smoke Black & Milds. They're about $6 a pack. I smoke a pack a day. If HEX does 1,000X, that means every pack of Black & Milds I smoke is $6,000.
Whoa.
So, in future HEX money, if I were to invest it and have it go out 15 years. So, is that right? 6 times 1,000? I thought that was pretty easy math. I could be getting it wrong, though, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah.
It's 6,000.
That's a good way to think about it, Maddie.
That's an expensive habit. $6,000 a day, man.
That's an expensive habit. That's right.
You got people in Chicago, man, spending like $10, $12 for a pack of cigarettes. So
yeah, yeah.
Yes, $10, $12.
That's an expensive habit.
That's very expensive.
10 grand a day in future HEX. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, crazy, man. Crazy.
I'm glad we had this discussion. That'll help me. I was planning on next Thursday stopping smoking. That'll be 4 weeks since I
Use
started
nicotine
omega-3.
replacement therapy. Get a patch. Most insurances cover it for free, or you can buy it over the counter. And that's the best way to make yourself not become more addicted in the end, because if you deprive yourself and then get stressed out, then you're going to relapse. It's going to train your brain to think that smoking is even better because it's going to give you more relief than it would if you just continuously smoked. And so that's why it's so important to do the nicotine replacement therapy, patch or gum or whatever it's going to be.
I've never had too much trouble. I usually smoke for a few months to a year, and then I stop. I just really enjoy it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I like it.
So you have one long and one short serotonin transporter allele, and that makes it easier for you to quit smoking than most people who smoke
I'm
more
very
than
lucky.
you do. Who
very lucky with
have
that.
too short serotonin transporter alleles and feel the stress more when they quit and feel the benefit more when they smoke. So, okay, well,
time will tell, right? We'll see what happens.
Using a patch can be helpful, or if you don't have a problem already quitting, then cold turkey can work for some rare cases, but those are normally rare.
And that's just been my path so far, and is all. I don't know if tobacco addiction is like alcohol, where it's progressive. So potentially this time is different, So I'll consider what you said, Maddie. If I have any issue on my first day, I'll certainly go out and get a patch before I go out and get another pack. So thank you. Yeah.
But the most important thing is don't go cold turkey. That's supposed to be the most important thing, like Maddie said. It's like I use the analogy. It's like hot iron skillet, cold water. I've seen people crack. Going cold turkey, man. They'll smoke way more than what they did before.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes the addiction worse.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Chewing gum all the time, and oh man, it's something else. That cigarette thing, man. Thank God I don't smoke. I hate smoke. I hate smoke. I drink. I don't drink a lot neither, but I don't smoke.
Do you spend $5 a day, Nate, on alcohol by any chance? Like over the course of a week,
no.
you spend $35?
What I'll do is like, go ahead.
I was going to say that'll be $35,000 in future HEX money. So to try to help you cut that down.
I'm very frugal now. I really am. I'll buy some beer. I don't drink a lot of beer, but I do the craft beers, like Founders, the high end stuff. Same thing like with the liquors and liqueurs. So that stuff will last me for months.
To quitting smoking, I know that tobacco cessation is something that is very counterintuitive. So when I quit smoking tobacco, I had the benefit of having worked in a neuroscience laboratory where we studied just that, helping people quitting smoking. I worked there for 7 years under a real world-class expert. And so I had the benefit and now get to kind of help share the word about what strategies are actually the most effective, because believe it or not, even your doctor doesn't really get a good rundown of how quitting smoking works for a variety of reasons. But definitely, it's more than a test of willpower. It's another situation like other substance abuse recoveries where it's best to be smart, not strong. And so that's why using a patch or a pill can help. And the reason why smoking appeals to 2 billion people enough to do it is that smoking helps people. It helps with stress, anxiety, depression, having an attention deficit. It's going to help those people more. And so there's all these use cases for nicotine to help people's brains, and that's why it's so addictive, is because it's beneficial. And so really the way to quit is to understand how it works, and to basically taper yourself down with a method that isn't hitting your brain so quickly. When you inhale smoke, it rewards your brain in 5 to 30 seconds, right? Injecting something's more addictive normally than smoking it, because it hits your brain even faster when you inject something, right? But when you absorb something transdermally over a 24-hour period, that allows your brain to get it so slowly that it doesn't condition you and it doesn't train you to be addicted to the patch. And so we actually gave never smokers patches to prove that under certain circumstances where they're particularly stressed, they benefit just as much as people who have trait deficits. But
just as much as people what? I didn't hear that part.
So like if somebody, let's say, so if somebody has ADHD, then they're going to benefit from nicotine more than somebody who has perfect attention. But if you take somebody and you make them, let's say, do many hours of difficult computer tasks, where they get paid lots of money if they pay perfect attention, but you drain somebody's attention enough who doesn't have ADHD, and you put them in an ADHD state, then they benefit from nicotine just as much as the ADHD person. And so it's not that you're a depressive person and you're using nicotine just as an antidepressant. It's that anybody in a deprived or a performance stressed state is going to benefit from nicotine. So that helps us understand why people smoke, is because they have a state or a trait deficit, and because the nicotine is helping them. And so when we transition people from inhaling smoke to get nicotine versus absorbing it transdermally, then they're able to, in a lot of cases, to break the addiction that way, because their brains aren't being constantly conditioned to be addicted, to be immediately rewarded, right? That's kind of the deep dive on that. Does that make sense?
I understand exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's more addictive than if it absorbs slowly. And
Joe, you mentioned I think the last stream you had with HEX Live that you disclosed you had a TBI.
Yes.
And my son has one. He got injured in the head. He got shot in the head.
I'm sorry to hear.
Wow.
Yeah. So, he's still living. Definitely, he's walking around talking just like me. But those impulses that Maddie just said, because my other son, he smokes, and the doctor doesn't want my injured son to actually smoke. So
yeah, marijuana or tobacco?
Tobacco,
okay.
tobacco, and even the vapor. Even both. The doctor told him don't do nothing because that will affect. Like what Maddie was explaining, how it will affect him. And sure enough, he sneaks and try to do that, smoking stuff, and it's just a totally changed person.
Yeah,
for real. Either he's real hyper intensive if he doesn't get it, or he's real melodramatic when he don't get it, and kind of really upset.
Right.
Wow. But yeah, that plays. That smoking definitely plays a role with TBI. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah,
first-hand experience.
I smoked before it and after it. I've never heard that. Nobody ever mentioned that to me. So I'm looking forward to a week from now, quitting. I'll let you know how I feel mentally. What I did have a huge problem with was marijuana. The side effects of marijuana, just being before my TBI, just being a little bit forgetful when I was high, or if I had been smoking regularly. those effects were multiplied by 100 after my TBI. So it was brutal for me to continue smoking marijuana. So I quickly, was able to. I've been smoking marijuana for 25 years, almost on a daily basis, and I mean all day and all night. And so that was something that I never really thought that I would quit for a long time. And just that the way that my brain works better now from that, I'm hoping that you're right, and that I'll feel that same similar increase in productivity and my mental health.
Yeah.
From stopping tobacco. That would be beautiful, because I can feel I'm still not 100%. I still sometimes forget some things, and I don't feel like I'm at my tip top like I used to be mentally. So I know there's room for improvement.
And especially like with the smoking products now, there's no telling what the hell they put in them.
Yeah,
and I mean they just compound everything in these things so you can stay smoking. It's nothing natural about tobacco no more, except if you grow it yourself and dry it. Or, you see them roll it up in a cigar. But it definitely affects TBI patients. Definitely. Like I said, my son, I mean, you can actually tell when he was doing it. I was like, no, wait a minute. Like, what's going on here? And then, it becomes addictive, too. That was another thing. It's like I have not ever experienced this before until we caught him actually smoking. Just regular tobacco vapor products, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, but as soon as he's off of them, because it takes time. Also, it does take time to withdraw, because he was always tired and lethargic and grumpy and things. Then his attitude changed, because we also, my wife and I, we also, got like homeopathic remedies. Also, we used them to help his abilities, and they work. Everything starts to work now, and he doesn't crave the smoke anymore like he used to.
Yeah,
that's good to hear that he's continuing to recover.
Does he have trouble with his memory?
You know what? It's been since 2017 since it happened, like September 2017 when it happened.
Okay.
And he, one of the first things I asked him when he woke up from his sedated coma was like, "Do you remember your Google password?" And he looked at me, he nodded his head. He was like, "I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's very good that you remember that,
Yeah.
Because that'll be like the last thing you think.
I had issues with my short-term memory, so I didn't lose any that I know of. I didn't really lose any big long-term memories, but what would happen with me is if I was talking to you just like this right now, I would have halfway through my sentence, I'd have to ask you, Nate, what was I just saying? And then you'd tell me.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to ask you again, and it was brutal. It was humbling, but it was, it was deflating. It felt embarrassing, and I'm just so thankful that I'm back to somewhat normal. I mean, that was a tough place for somebody that really, my ego was so attached to my intellect that to not have a high level intellect anymore based off no ability to remember what I was doing, what I was saying. It was like it was kind of like I was in a cage for a little while. So it's beautiful that my mind's working again, getting rid of the marijuana. I celebrate January 9th, the last day of the conference of HEX Changes 2021. I'm going to be celebrating 1 year of my sobriety. So I'm, no alcohol, no drugs. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to get
everything,
Yeah. I'm trying to drop
everything.
Drop the tobacco, and that should be it. Like Maddie's got me on the omega-3s, positive self-talk. Got the HEX community, so it's a good life, for sure.
Maddie's definitely on with the prefrontal cortex, because like I said, that's where my son got injured at. Like right here, all this was man.
Wow.
It was something else, definitely.
That's
the impulsivity.
Yeah.
With the eagerness, impulsivity. And sometimes he doesn't really forget things. Really, his memory got way better.
Wow. Wow.
You know, yeah, it's
That's
something
awesome.
else, definitely. Yeah, it is. You know, he's still alive. He's not no vegetable or nothing. You know, that was possibly one of the most dramatic moments in my whole entire life. I damn near died of an asthma attack, and that didn't even compare to that. And
I
both
can't
my
even
parents
imagine.
died. Like both my parents died a year apart. Wife got in a
Yeah.
car accident. I mean, shoot, man, that all that together didn't compare to that. It did not compare to that.
Yeah, you feel helpless, right?
Oh man, it was it's nothing like your your son or daughter getting hurt. And if you think that it's nothing that you can do. But the only thing that I was able to do was actually build my faith.
Yeah.
And prayer works. I don't care what no one said. Prayer works. Faith works. That's the only way it's going to work. I mean, it's like you're battling a vampire. You got to have faith. You go show that cross in front of them, like
Stakes. You need stakes to fight vampires, and that's what HEX gives you, right?
Yeah, throw HEX at them. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, building that faith, my wife and I, man, that was a very traumatic experience for us, but we got through it. We're still getting through it, him healing and everything, as we got him going to school, and we're just working with it.
How did you get the news of that, Nate? Was it how did you find out that event happened? How was it brought to your attention?
Well, I came home and rang the doorbell because the front door was locked, and it took a while for the door to answer. So it kept ringing, knocking. Then all of a sudden the front door opens, and then the screen door. He took a long time to open the screen door. I'm like, hey, what's the matter with you? How come you pushing the screen door like that? So I opened it up. The house was dark, and I turned on the light. It was just blood all over. He looking straight at me like this, like with this thing coming out of his head, this stuff coming out of his head. I was like, what?
He was in shock, huh?
Oh man, dude, I was ready to do everything that night, man. But I walked him to the car. I ended up finding his car keys, walked him to the car, drove him to the hospital. I was on the phone with 911 at the same time. They actually gave me a green light to go all the way down the hospital. They were to control the traffic lights. Like, hey,
wow.
I don't know what the heck. I didn't even know he got shot. Literally, I was like, hey, on my way to the hospital, I need, medical assistance or something, And I already told him I was en route to the hospital. She was like, okay, don't worry. I mean, I had green light all the way down to the hospital. And I wheeled him out to the wheelchair, to the emergency room. And then that's where they found the bullet in his head.
Did he know that he was shot?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So they had to airlift him from there and to a trauma unit in Chicago, and after dealing with police and all that, me going straight to the hospital, and the first thing I see is my wife talking to the chaplain, and I'm thinking to myself, my whole mind just like, oh, once again. But one night turned into one day turned into 2 days, 2 days turned into 4. And the doctors was like, well, he may end up being a vegetable, this and that. I was like, you know what, doctor, you know what? You know as much as I know now.
Right,
you just keep doing what you're doing, and that's it. just keep working on it. I don't want to hear all that vegetable, this and that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure enough, though, just go through that for 3 months. It was something else. It really was.
Did that help you with your faith, find faith, or did you already have that before that?
Tell you the truth, I had that before that, but that right there, just like I said, that was my faith became the Great Wall of China. After that, like I prayed over my son every night. I'm not a Christian. I don't go to church, or I don't follow any religion. But for some reason, I started listening to the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
And what was that? Later on, in a couple of weeks, my wife started playing, the mantras, Hindu mantras, down on YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And there was another one. It was like a frequency sequencing, and he woke up 2 days later. Mary, his eyes open, even without them even taking off the sedative. His eyes open like this. So
Wow.
it was something else. They didn't even expect his eyes to even close back. It was like, oh, he's going to be like that. This, like, look, I told you, doctor. Hey, just leave it alone. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's it. You know as much as I know about this.
Right. That's beautiful, Nate. That's powerful. That's incredible to hear that.
Yeah, it is, man. Faith is something else. You gotta have it, and I think that's where HEX got to come in. That if we stake it, gotta have faith that it's going to work.
Right.
It's going to work. It shall work. It shall. Not will, shall. So we're gonna get paid 15 years from now. We're gonna get paid. Don't worry, it's coming.
It.
That's right. You gotta believe it. You gotta have faith. You gotta believe it. Definitely, it's gonna happen. It worked so far, so good. It's just gonna keep on going. I mean, the thing is, like when you invest in things like HEX, I mean, when you hear about cryptocurrencies, it's also the blockchains involved in it too. Blockchain technology. And the purpose of that was supposed to be, like a trustless thing that you store stuff in so it can operate. Well, why not money? That's what I guess where Richard got that concept from. Why not money? Why not store it as a token and just put the contract in there with it, and so it won't be messed with. So there you go. It's in the blockchain.
Right.
Yeah, that's how everything works.
It's I'm very lucky that I found my faith right as I found HEX, so I correlate the two very much. It's easy to have belief in God when things are going great, but when things are tough, it's important to have that foundation of faith on some level, because like my friend Hex Live was saying, the storm's coming for everybody. It's different for everybody, but it's coming. And so if you don't have, your feet well planted on the ground, you're going to get knocked over. And HEX has taught me, working with Maddie, to take care of myself better, and think about my future, and, don't worry about tomorrow. Not that I worry about 15 years from now, but, just enjoy today, do what I can to be creative, to take care of myself mentally, spiritually, and physically. And it's the same with faith. I want to have that relationship with God, that I can pray for other people. And if I get in that mind state, if I spend my morning, saying a prayer, and then I work for other alcoholics, because I'm an alcoholic, if I help others through that capacity, and then come on to, Twitter and get some creativity inspired in me from somebody else doing something incredible, like A-Bit, or, any one of the Hexicans that makes me laugh on a daily basis, or comes up with a cool way to look at something new, creates a new technology. It's just, everything is so intertwined with me, with God and HEX. It's really peculiar. It's especially with the name HEX. It's the counterpoint. It's like, it's where I want to be. I want to spend half my time over here and half my time over here, and it's a beautiful place to live.
You and Maddie are doing wonderful things, running this thing. It really is. Y'all really doing a hell of a job. And not only that, to actually, I mean, what what crypto project brings out, okay, you know what? Mentally prepare yourself for what's to come. I mean, no, Bitcoin don't do it. Ethereum don't do it. No. What's that? The consensus don't do it. No one does this. You probably the first two that actually deal with the possibly the most important part of financial success is the mental aspect of it. You know, to
Thank you for
receive the
saying
game.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, if you're crazy and you get all this money, what you gonna do with it?
You're gonna lose it.
I mean,
Yeah,
we know what
exactly.
people do when they get too much money too fast and aren't prepared, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
you know, we have a time now to prepare ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves possible, right? That's a powerful thing. HEX gives us that time, gives us our chance to keep our promises to ourselves and to maybe even make promises that aren't related directly to our finances, but not your health, not your wealth, I like to say. And if you want to enjoy the fruits of your waiting, then you have to take good care of yourself so that you'll increase your health span, not just your lifespan.
Exactly. Yeah. And I listen to a lot of things on YouTube, and I've been listening to guy Neville Goddard, and I forgot like one of his sermons. There's this guy actually narrating his one of his sermons. His name is Brian Scott Channel. That's his channel. And what Neville Goddard said was, "Your faith is your fortune."
Absolutely.
You know? And I think about that. I'm like, wow, I know your health is your wealth, but now your faith is your fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So I mean, this is like being part of HEX and being part of the community and being part of you, whatever. You gotta have that perseverance, that strength inside of you to continue on with things like this. For the long run, like staking $1 million in 15 years, just 15. Boom, there you go. Put it up on the shelf. Walk away, drive to White Castle or something.
Yeah, I love White Castle.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Like, wow, man, $1 million. You put $1 million up for 15 years. Just think about that, man. $1 million. That's some faith, or that's some. I don't know. I don't know. I would do that. To tell you the truth, man.
Yeah.
I'll chop it up, but.
Well, we're going to check back in with you when your stakes are worth many millions each. And my prediction is that you're going to be just fine staking $1 million worth of HEX because you've got a really good plan in place and because you're doing the work to prepare yourself. And so I want to praise you and say that I really admire that about you, Nate, that you're that you've got such an awesome story to tell and that you're part of the proof of how special HEX is. Yeah.
Well, I already got it set in my head that no matter how much HEX is, I'm just restaking the principal anyway. That's all I'm good. I'm just going to keep on restaking.
Yeah.
That one HEX can be like $100 each. I don't care. Just go restake the principal. That's how you do it. You got a family to take care of. So
that's right.
Yeah. What a powerful thing. Yeah. And as we're wrapping up here, it looks like we've triggered Crypto Coffee to maybe make a run to White Castle.
Oh, really?
I assume that's. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's close.
You can't go.
Yeah,
Hey,
there it is. You know,
Can't go wrong with a suitcase of
24
burgers. That's for
hours,
sure.
yeah, they still got the suitcase, the crave case. So.
Oh yeah, they do.
Now, I wanted to give a special shout out to Ballet Brand for donating a Ninja Genie earlier on. You're making a huge difference, and we really appreciate it. We don't get a lot of Ninja Genies ever, and so you're an awesome dude for donating, and thank you so much. We'll keep shouting you out all the time because we appreciate it.
Yeah, you got some hell of a guys in this community, man. They putting it out there. They are putting it out there. I love it. I love to be part of it. So you guys, coffee brand. I mean, shoot, man. Oh yes, it's call them sliders
because they slide right through.
Yeah.
Now we learned something.
Yeah, you want to cleanse? Get you a cup of coffee and a white jacket. Yeah, man, I tell you. But man, this was excellent. This was absolutely excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on, Nate.
And just just to look back at it too, because I'm going to record this one. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're always welcome to come back, Nate. We'd love to have you. And if if I can have you one-on-one sometime and talk more about faith and God, I'd love to do that too. So
I'm available.
Thank you for tonight. Cool.
Yeah, just DM me. Hey, I'm all good. Just DM me.
Right.
Yeah, Joe, can you say a little bit more about the show you're spinning off?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Three's Company inspired me, right? Like to do the original spinoff with Mr. Roper. So I'd like to, get some experience doing this one-on-one. Maddie takes care of the StreamYard and all of the Maddie got me on board with how to do this, and he was learning when I was learning, but I'd like to try to figure everything out myself. So because my background is in recovery through spirituality, I'd like to plan a weekly show on Friday nights. The response has been so great that I believe I'm going to even do it Mondays and Fridays now. So I have the show booked out till mid-January, every Monday night at 8 p.m., every Friday night at 8 p.m. I'll have a guest one-on-one for the
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Maddie. So it's going to be great. If anybody has any, recovery stories through addiction, loss, gambling, any vices, if you just want to talk about your spirituality, your path to spirituality, as long as you can share experience, strength, and hope, and help the Hexagon community, receive positive vibes and work on their mental, spiritual, and physical health and what we do, then I'd love to talk to you. And tomorrow night, my guest is Polly Annie. She's an artist.
This is big, yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to share her story tomorrow night, her testimony on recovery. And, if you want to tune in, everybody, I'd love to have you. I still need some more golden hammers. So, Nate, you certainly, got that invitation if you want to get golden hammered up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. So
you're going to have a beautiful woman on who has 7K subscribers on Twitter and is a huge HEX fan and is interested in being on your show for the recovery and spirituality aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so she's a fellow Hexagon. She's absolutely a beautiful woman, and more so than the way she looks is what she does with her life. I'm an artist myself. I haven't really shared that on screen before. I do a little bit of painting, and I share a similar style with Polly Annie. We gave each other back and forth a couple pieces of art, that we worked on, and it's really cool to see. We don't just have HEX in common in this community. There's lots of other things. So I'm looking forward to speaking to an artist that's interested in HEX, and I don't know how much she knows about HEX, so we're going to start out tomorrow with her providing her testimony regarding her experience, strength, and hope through recovery, and then we'll get into some HEX talk after that. So I'm I'm looking forward to it. Maddie, thank you so much for helping me get going, and I certainly wouldn't be here without you. So.
Oh, of course. Thank you. I
Thank you.
feel the same way, and I feel so lucky that our friendship has been built around HEX and around therapy, making ourselves better. And you've been a tremendous help to me. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And people can find me and all the different things I'm in. allmylinks.com/allin. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that because that allows us to reach a larger audience. And so you have a website now, is that right?
I got the URL, Maddie. It points to the same place as allmylinks.com, but I do own joeexotic.com now. So if you guys want to follow me on any of the different streams, it connects to Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. So I'll put the link in the chat, and I'd love to have everybody know when I'm going on. And like I said, it'll be Monday and Friday nights. Maddie and I will continue to do Thursdays, and Maddie's popping up all over the place with some surprise shows coming up. So we got a lot of HEX content planned.
Stay tuned on Twitter. I'm going to be announcing some shows coming up, and make sure to check out the episode that I did a couple days ago with Crypto Coffee. We got into some new ideas about HEX that haven't been discussed yet, and it was a great honor to speak with him and be able to learn from each other. And so thank you, Coffee. I'm sorry we triggered you to go to White Castle, or maybe you're welcome, whatever it is. Thanks, everybody. It's been a great night. We'll catch you next time here on HEX Therapy Live.
And Nate, hang on one second. You want to let everybody know where you are, Nate?
Right now?
On Twitter.
On Twitter?
Yeah.
I mean, Nate J101, Crypto Nate, HEX on. Hey. Nate J101. Yeah.
I'll type it into the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks again for being on with us. And we'll stick around behind the scenes here after we go off the broadcast. So take care, everyone. And remember, stay wisely, my friends.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
HEX on.
Thank you, Nate. HEX on.